Okay. Standing on the old highway here that went on the west side of Walker Lake, and it was built way up here on the Piedmont because, well, the lake was a lot higher when they built it. I don't remember exactly when that was. But the debris flow that we've been following, we were just up in the trench area up at the apex of the fan. Now we're down sort of still mid-fan. We're still a ways above the lake. But you can see this, the flow is separated into distinct lobes here. And it's petering out. It must have just been like a very fine, muddy mess down here. And so I'm going to walk around with and show you some of the features of this part of the distal part of the flow and what was happening as it came to a stop. So, over here, this is, you can kind of see where the flow crosses the road. And here's the front of it. These ants here haven't taken too long to get their stuff back together, building their nests or excavating all that stuff from within their nests. And so that's the process of bioturbation, and as you can see, it starts to happen almost immediately. In and amongst this ephedra, this is where the flow stops over here, and you can walk along the edge of it. There's like a little lobe here that's covering up this gravel. And there's some cool mud cracks through here. And some of the mud cracks that I've been noticing today are oriented. So there was, as the mud was drying and and it was contracting because there's clay in it, these cracks form, and they form at a variety of scales. And some show that the whole thing was still kind of slowly flowing as the mud cracks were forming, so they're also deformed. Right here, there are some dog tracks right by this little new ant hill, and the mud was still wet when it walked across there, and I guess that would be a coyote because there's no real dogs around here. Also some lizard tracks right through here also. So the animals were getting on this thing pretty close right after as it was drying. And so another cool thing about mud cracks is they always form at right angles. So you could follow this particular crack and it forms at a right angle to this one. This one is at a right angle. And it's not perfect. You can get your protractor out and measure it, but it's pretty close. And why that is because as this is drying, this material is shrinking because it has some expansive clays in it. And when it is shrinking, the tension is operating on the XY plane, not the Z plane. And so the tension is equal in this direction and this direction. And so all the cracks have to be orthogonal, or basically meet at right angles to accommodate those stresses. So it's something that you'll see in all kinds of materials, but just kind of a cool factoid about mud cracks. Some nice flow patterns in this little lobe here. So as we can walk up the edge of this guy, and you can see where the mud just came to rest right on this fine gravel. And I imagine if you stuck your foot in it like that, it would be pretty juicy, but it's been 5 weeks. And so down here, the mud has, or the flow has separated into several lobes that are pretty much bifurcating downstream. It's called distributary, and so each one is dividing. So this is kind of a nice feature. Local steepening. This is on the edge of a little road or something, and you can see that there's this beautiful little lobe that oozed out over here. And so maybe you wouldn't have died if you were standing right here, but I'm not sure I would have done it anyway. So again, this is a place where this particular little finger has died out, and you can see some of the larger boulders on older fan units. So there must have been a bigger flow, more massive, more debris. And so kind of running out of flow over here. But this is not too old because there's a big log on it. This fine grain one that's to the right, and you got this coarser, older debris unit poking out from underneath this finer gravel. It's probably what's associated with this big fatty boulder here. Probably 3 meters on the side. And it's pretty big. I'd like to have it in my yard. So in these fingers, we're kind of running out of the flow. Here's one more little, the end of one of these lobes. And so this is a relatively small event for this particular fan. It just doesn't seem to have much mass to it. It's only 5-10 centimeters, 5 meters, not even 5 meters. 5 centimeters thick. So this is what it looks like when these things peter out. They have the potential, this canyon has the potential to put out debris flows that go all the way across the highway. See where this white car is coming? That's where the highway is. That's 95, Highway 95. These debris flows have gone all the way past the highway and down to the lake. And there are some, excuse me, some deposits exposed up along the river that actually show that debris flows went into the lake. And I'll talk about that another time.